What up and welcome to part 2 of my Turtle vs Spyder video, in which I'll be continuing to treat this Miami Blue 718 Porsche Spyder to some correction and protection with a few hybrid solutions products from Turtle Wax. So after leaving the car semi-exposed overnight, I was pleasantly surprised to see that it hadn't been blanketed in dust and dirt. So after a light wipe over the panels that hadn't yet been polished with the Menzerna prep spray used the previous day, got straight to work capturing some further shots of me giving the car a single stage spruce up using the new ceramic polish and wax product, a soft foam pad and a well-worn flex machine. In terms of workability, the hybrid solutions polish seemed right up my street. No dusting, caking or premature drying, which is generally what I want when performing a single stage polish, as it allows me to either work a larger area in one go if I'm against the clock, or work a normal sized area but for that little bit longer to get the most out of the process I possibly can. The residue it left behind buffed off cleanly, and while according to Turtle Wax you can first spritz it with water to activate the gloss enhancing polymers, with it being cool and damp, I settled on the simple breath treatment, which still seemed to ensure the surface was left glossy and smear free. Now, the aim here was really about providing some durable chemical resistant protection more so than polishing the paintwork up to perfection, but as I was in possession of this new product which offers ceramic protection as well as correction, could theoretically at least kill two birds with one stone. So once I'd given the main panels a fair few passes, then any remaining fiddly bits were then either tended to with a smaller 4-inch spot pad or by hand with a foam applicator pad, as the product is quite versatile and can still deliver decent results without a machine so long as it's worked in every which way with a good bit of elbow grease. Despite only being a single stage jobby on a relatively small car, the polishing still pretty much took the entire day, and because the product needs 24 hours to properly cure before anything else can be applied, once I was done I had no choice but to leave it there. So before I could get cracking with the ceramic spray coating the next morning, then I had to give the car a gentle wipe over to remove a light layer of dust that had settled on it overnight, and thought what better way to debut the Hybrid Solutions Ceramic 3-in-1 Detail Spray, which is designed to clean and maintain your car's polished and or protected finish in between wet washes. I'm not entirely sure if the ceramic components in the maintenance spray would inhibit the ceramic protectant so as to subsequently apply, as it's technically intended to be used afterwards, but thought it made more sense than using something from another brand, so didn't worry too much and just got to work making sure all of the previously polished areas of the Porsche were clean and contaminant free. Once I'd lightly cleaned and buffed every panel, I let the paintwork breathe for a moment before finally getting to grips with the flagship Hybrid Solutions ceramic spray coating, which offers up to 12 months of chemical resistant protection, which can easily be topped up or extended indefinitely when used in conjunction with the accompanying maintenance products. Ease of use was key for Turtle Wax in the development of the Hybrid Solutions range, so the spray coating is intended to simply be spritzed directly onto the panel and wiped over with a towel before being buffed back to a super slick high gloss shine. But I fancied a more neat and controlled application on camera, so went with a microfibre applicator pad instead. Much like with a dedicated coating, less is generally more, so after the pad was treated to a couple of sprays to both prime and load it, it was gently worked over the paintwork in a cross-hatchish pattern to ensure everywhere was covered. And while I probably made more of a meal of it than I actually needed to, it was all for your viewing pleasure, but don't think you have to follow this tedious methodology, as a quick spritz directly onto the panel before being wiped and buffed will do just fine. There's no need to wait for this product to flash off or rush to remove it before it hardens, and while Turtle Wax does recommend having a damp towel to hand to help remove any stubborn high spots, I didn't experience any here, so just stuck to a couple of dry ones for each section to ensure I wasn't transporting any excess residue around. During the demo day in Arizona, Turtle Wax did show where the bonnet of a treated car being abused with an active wheel cleaner in the 90-degree heat to illustrate there was still plenty of hydrophobicity, as the Yanks like to refer to it, after being rinsed off. So while I don't doubt it works, I obviously can't really comment on its long-term durability just yet. Once all the painted panels had been treated, I moved on to protecting the headlights, rear clusters and exposed plastic parts, which again was a pretty simple affair. Now, the protectant won't really alter the appearance of naked textured plastics, as it's not a rejuvenator or dressing, but for brand new ones like these that just need a barrier from the elements to keep them looking factory fresh, the ceramic spray coating seemed to offer the perfect solution. With all the body parts treated, I then moved on to the exterior glass, which I almost always tend to last. It was first given a good going over with a glass cleaner and a lint-free cloth or two to ensure it was prepared for the spray coating, which was subsequently applied in pretty much the same manner as everywhere else had been. Now, when polishing or protecting glass like this, it makes sense to properly clean the inside of it first so that interior smears don't mask any exterior ones. But as I'm sure you can imagine, a decent interior window clean for myself would have taken a fair chunk of time, which I didn't really have at this point, so just gave the exterior of the glass a final blind man's buff as best I could. So lastly then, I gave the spokes and faces of the 20-inch bladed wheels a once over with the protectant to bring them back up to scratch with the rest of the car. Now, it would have been nice to get them off and properly protect the insides of them too, but again, time didn't really permit that. So instead advised the owner, who is keen to take care of the car himself, to perhaps use the ceramic wet wax spray to maintain these areas after a final rinse, as despite having meaty brakes, they're still pretty accessible. Once all four satin faces had been thoroughly buffed then, I left it at that for the turtle wax treatment so I could begin retuning my eyes to something other than Miami blue. So, while a brand new car with only a few miles worth of dirt isn't going to illustrate a huge before and after transformation, the Hybrid Solutions products have been formulated to enhance the finish as well as protect it, and there was an undeniable improvement in depth and gloss following the single stage polish and ceramic spray coating, which brought about the cliched but true better than new comment from not just the owner and his wife, but the postman, the leaflet lady and every other passerby who wanted to know what had been going down under the big top. Now, as I've already said, I can't give a full verdict on the products used here just yet, but what I can say at this point is that they're pretty easy to get to grips with, and that if they do stand the test of time, could provide the perfect solution for myself and perhaps others to easily lay down some durable chemical resistant protection on a car without having to worry about the hassle that comes with more hardy dedicated coatings. The only real consideration worth mentioning is that while they can get wet following application, both the polish and coating need 24 hours to properly cure before either another layer is applied or any other chemicals are used on them, but dedicated coatings have to cure too, so whatever. Big shout out to Turtle Wax for persuading us all to get together, and specifically to Matt and Christy and the UK lads I travelled over with for holding the flights in both LA and Atlanta while I sprinted my ass from terminal to terminal as fast as my jet-lagged legs would carry me. And finally, of course, to Roger Bailey, the owner of the Spyder, for sorting out a marquee so we could dedicate a few days undercover to getting some decent shots for you, which I'd like to think did both the products and the car justice. Keep an eye out for a follow-up video of me using the other maintenance products on my own car. Do let me know how you get on with the range if you decide to give it a go yourself, and I'll be back with an annual best of video once I've painstakingly stitched it together.